fatal thought impacts past painful thoughts. In fact, I blast tasteful laws and past. I back up my actions back, don't ask, grab reactions, jacked, attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're just freaked out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Q-Show here, and now, before I do continue, this series is going to be a fairly complicated one, because the way I have it in my mind, I'm going to be starting at the end and building backwards. The one-shot here may not be an accurate representation of what the series might be, whenever it would eventually be made. However, I do at least want to state that one thing. Since we're going to be starting at the end of the villain journey, however, it's going to go backwards and ultimately snowball into how Deku and his family, not only, oh yeah, we're establishing here now all this stuff, working backwards, you have all this other stuff, and then you do have what's going on. Since the premise of the idea is Deku and his family were discovered, and then Deku has to try and protect his family by going back into the villain lifestyle. Now, with that being said, let's just get things started now. We'll start with Deku. Right now, he is walking through the city streets, and his face is covered in a mask. A lot of people, they're getting out of the way because of what's currently being thrown around. Deku, he's waving his hands through the air, and the streets, they're being torn up. They're just being pulled directly off the ground and being chucked at people. And Deku is currently at least going to bring these up and go to throw them at pro heroes. As you do have our pro heroes, they're trying to dodge the way and evacuate. As Deku, well, he is currently going on his path of destruction, you do have in his earpiece, where he's being asked questions about many things, and he's currently trying to answer them to the best of his abilities. As whenever a hero does come to get too close to Deku, he does go to bring his hand up and go to cover them in his energy. As whenever another hero does get close enough, they actually go to bring something up to Deku's neck and go to put it directly up to him, and informing him that he's been caught. And if he doesn't want to be tased, then they suggest putting down the hero. Pro, you're not exactly in the bargaining position here. That being said in a distorted voice. As the pro, they do ask exactly what he does mean. And Deku, he does go to explain, as he has to flip his hand, and, well, it does start. This person, they're immediately chucked directly into the pro right in front of Deku. As whenever the pro, they're struck by the person, they actually are caught in whatever this strange field is. As Deku does then go to bring his hands up, and both the pros are directly floating in the air. They're trying to move around and get away. As Deku, he does express to everybody that right now he does currently have 2 pro heroes as hostages. He suggests that the pros, they just sit back and relax while he carries on what he's doing. And if any of them, they do want the pro heroes to die here, then he suggests that they all do continue to try and attack him. Certain pros, they're all just staying there trying to understand what to do. They're trying to make a battle plan. And right now, they're well aware as to who this villain is. The villain here, he's one that could be best described as All For One's enforcer. For the last couple months, All For One, he's been trying to take over Japan. And so far, he has been very successful. It started with the fall of All Might, and from there, this guy, he started to get more bold. He started to just tear his way through pros. And, well, many of them are aware as to why. As whenever a pro does go rushing forwards to try and attack Deku, he immediately does go bring his hand up and then go to blast the pro. As the pro, they were unaware that Deku, he does have to hold up both of his hands to capture somebody. As long as they're caught in his field, they are already his as far as he's concerned. And the pro, as they are hit by the blast, you do actually have where they do start to float up into the air. They're flinging around their body, and they're just trying to gain their bearing on exactly what's happening. And Deku, he does talk about how one of them didn't follow his rules. So now, him going to bring his hand up, express that he's going to show them exactly what happens when nobody follows the rules. Deku at least going to flare his hand outwards with all his fingers, forming a fist, and then just going to full out launch his hand up. As the moment Deku he does going to do so, you do have where, as his fingers do flare outwards, you have the person who, their body, in every direction, he just gets ripped apart. Now, everybody does watch as the cloud of red mist, it does start flying through the crowd. And as what remains of the man does fall, you do have where Deku does explain to many of them. They have two more pros. And if any of them are curious to know what happens when Ryuaksha does close his hand all the way and not open, he's willing to show them with another pro. And the pros, they try to call him a psycho. Deku looking up and informing them that they don't know the half of it. If they knew the things that he's seen in the way, well, reality is, they'd understand that people like him, they can't exactly exist in society. They'd understand that with everything he's tried to do, with every way he's tried to use his quirk, people have always considered him to be a monster. And the pros, they do try to tell Deku that that is untrue. The way he reacted to everybody else says quite a lot about him. Deku, he was the one who thought he was the monster because everyone told him to. When in reality, his quirk, it could be used for something better. He could have been a hero, but he chose not to be. And Deku, the moment he does get to hear this, he does something just go to throw back his head and start laughing, expressing to the pro that they don't understand, do they? Understand what? A lot of things happened to me when I was a kid. A lot of people died. People I was close to. I tried asking for help. No one ever seemed to care. The only people who did care were killed. And, well, I didn't like that. It was an accident. It was not supposed to happen. Some reckless kid with a quirk. He got them killed. I've hated him since. So I killed him. When I was found out, I started killing more. And it felt natural. The way I could use my quirk. The way I could just, somebody going to smack Deku on the head as he was going to look up from his desk. Huh? Huh? What's up? Staring off into space, dude. Come on. Yeah, sorry. I was just, I was thinking about a few things. Well, as long as those things were about work and you're focusing on, well, your assignment, I think the boss will overlook you doing that. What? How long have I been out of it? Maybe the last 7, 8 minutes, maybe, probably 10. I don't know. I went to the bathroom earlier and you were still out of it then. Shit. Ah, fuck, oh, fuck. Uh, right. I'm sorry. It's just my kids, their birthdays are coming up soon, and I'm just kind of worried. Hmm? Really? You have kids? Aren't you kind of young? Uh, yeah. That's sort of the thing. Kind of happens when you're young and dumb, and then the world kind of hits you with responsibility like this. Oh, all right, I get it. I never knew that about you, dude. How long have we worked with each other? The last, from my knowledge, after I got that, well, branch change, about 3 years? Right. In all the 3 years I've never known you, I never knew you had kids. I thought you were a bachelor. I didn't even know you were married. Yeah, I'm not really that big with discussing my personal life at work. Come on, dude. We go out for drinks every other weekend. Or every other work Friday. Besides, I could have swore you told me a few things about yourself when you were younger. Hmm? Oh, maybe. But, I mean, to be fair, I do say a lot when around drinking. I gotta be careful, though. My wife kinda hates it. I know, it's bad habit, yeah, but After all the work we do, it's nice to just go out and relax. Yeah, I know. But, shit, I gotta get back to work. Now, the guy does at least go to bring his thumbs up, telling him that, yeah, he's gotta go back too. Him going to quickly jog down the hallway, as Deku, he does go back to his assignment. As after working a little bit later, he does go to leave. And as that does happen, Deku, he's standing outside, as he does go to wait. Him going to bring his phone up to call a cab. As whenever Deku, he does actually somewhat look up after someone calls his name, he does go to stare directly at a, well, taxi, or, well, a vehicle. The person saying that they were going to go out for drinks tonight, and they were wondering if he wanted to go. Them saying Deku's fake identity name. And Deku, after at least going to ponder it for a minute, he does go to actually bring his phone up and go to call Toga. Him going to tell her exactly what's going on right now. And Deku, after at least talking to Toga briefly, and telling her that he's not going to be out for too long, since he does at least want to sit down with the kids and talk to them, he does tell her that he'll be out for a while. And Toga, she is kind of annoyed. However, she is aware as to the current stress Deku's been put under. And we actually do cut back in time, where Deku, he's currently sitting at the edge of the bed, and he's smoking a cigarette. He's just trying to think about what to do next. All for one, he's got a lot planned out with this whole, takeover. He's wondering what exactly to do. Yeah, this is all fun and all good and all with All Might gone and, well, Endeavor fried now. But what about, later on? That being what Deku's trying to think about. He's actually learned quite a bit. And he actually does go to look back, as he does see the girl lying in his bed. This is Toga. He knew this girl when they first both joined up into the league, and they've been working together for quite some time. After the death of an unfortunate friend, the two of them, they did kind of get close. They cried together, they mourned together, and well, unfortunately, a few things happened. And now, he wouldn't really call this a relationship, but they do have their own fun. The two are both just so fucked up in the head. And right now, Deku, he does think. Him going to bring his hand up and bring it onto Toga's leg, as he does try to think about it. He's never had things like this before. And, well, he doesn't know how to explain it. Is it love? He doesn't know this emotion. It just feels so weird to him. He wants to kill everyone who would harm this girl. And he actually is kind of curious. He's never had anybody he could protect. He's never had things to worry about. He hides his face, and he can assume his identity as Izuku again, if he does want to. But he knows exactly how risky that is. She's the only one in the league who's seen his real face. And he's debating it. He's always wanted to back out of it before, but he's having so much fun. And then there's this girl. She's just so, well, alluring to him. He doesn't understand it. Deku at least going to somewhat bring his hand back up and bring the cigarette to his lips. As he does go to take a strong puff off of it, as he does go to somewhat start coughing a bit. And as Deku just start to cough, you do actually at least have Toga. Just gonna roll over and ask if he's smoking again. Yeah, I am. What of it? I need to tell you something. Deku gonna turn around, asking him exactly what's wrong. Well, could you put out the cigarette first? I need to tell you some information. What is it? I don't really know how to tell you this, but we do actually cut back to the future. As Deku, he does stumble home with one of his friends. they are currently at least trying to help Deku, since while he did have a bit more than he wanted to, they at least do live somewhat nearby. And Deku, while he couldn't exactly take the ride home, since his friends were still getting drunk at the bar, he did live only a few blocks away. And his friend, after they got off the train, they were able to start walking. As while the two of them they were stumbling around, there actually were a few thugs out tonight. And they were kind of intrigued. They actually were people who used to think about what happened in the past. And they're watching as two drunk, stumbling idiots in finely dressed suits they do pass by. They're kind of curious as to exactly how much they might be carrying. As one of the thugs, whenever Deku and this guy do go to walk past, you do actually have what they do go to stumble out forwards and go to actually shoulder check one of these guys. As whenever the guy, he actually has someone to go to stumble and fall, he does go to talk about exactly what the drunk bastard did. And Deku, he does go to turn and stare directly at the kid. As the kid does talk about how he thinks that he might have actually sprained his ankle, and he might need to go to the hospital. And Deku, he does just stare down at the kid, informing him that he's pretty sure his ankle's fine. Come on, you drunk bastard. No, it's not. Look at it. The kid going to stand up on his feet as he has go to fake a limp. And Deku, yeah. He notices that that's complete bullshit. Nobody would limp like that. And while Deku's associate, they do go to try and calm the situation, expressing that he can call an ambulance and get them taken and take care of the medical bills, the person they go to talk about how the guy could just give them all their money. And the kid actually is going to somewhat step forwards, as he's going to swat the phone out of the guy's hand, and then go to somewhat bring his hand up to punch him directly upwards in the gut. And the moment this does actually happen, you actually have one of the other thugs. They do actually go to step forwards and go to pull out a knife, and informing the other guy to hand over his wallet. Seriously, kid? A knife? What? Okay, that's not funny. Alright, all serious now. Give me your wallet. Kid. Okay. I'll give you my wallet, but seriously, do not fuck with me right now. Why not? Besides, what do you got, a gun? No, I got something better. I got a quirk. Well, so do I, but I'd rather not use it. You know why? I'm a bit smarter than my friends here. The guy at least going to pick up Deku's colleague. As whenever Deku does go to turn and see that, he realizes that that kid has super strength. As the guy is going to smash Deku's colleague into a wall, the guy is going to turn and directly go to throw his fist towards Deku. Deku trying to bring up his hands to block, as the guy does directly go to punch out his hand, and Deku, he's sent flying. Deku, he does get sent flying, smashing into a wall. As after he does hit it, he does go to hit down onto the wall, and go to look up. As you do have one of the other thugs, they do go to bring up one of their hands and go to start to blast out ice towards Deku. And Deku, after trying to dodge, he does get his hand caught. As the kid, he does get a step forwards. Him going to ask if the guy is really going to try and make this all that hard. Because if he doesn't just hand it over, they can just kill him. And Deku does at least go to bring up his other hand. As he's talk to the kid about how he's never killed a man, has he? What of it? Besides, there's always a first time. Kid, you have no idea what it's like, do you? And you do? Come on, you're just some suit. Kid, that's where you're wrong. Now, the ice around Deku's hand, it actually is going to blast away from his palm. Now, the kitty actually is going to step backwards, going to drop his knife. And Deku, the moment he does actually go to get onto his feet, he does go to bring his hand up and wipe the blood off of his nose, before he does go to bring his hands up and go to take off his suit jacket. As one of the kid is trying to blast more ice at Deku, he does go to bring up his hand and go to send a red blast directly at the kid. The ice stopping in the middle of the air, as Deku, he doesn't go to bring his fingers up, and go to point his fingers forwards as the ice shards, the dude gets sent flying backwards and directly stabbing this kid, pinning him into a wall. As Deku, whenever one of the ice shards, they actually go to directly stabbing the kid's arm and pin his hand to the wall, Deku he does go to bring up his other hand. As whenever one of the kids did try to run, the guy with super strength, Deku he did go to freeze him and then go to bring his hands together. As the kid he did start to float directly in front of Deku, and after he's going to fly very fast before stopping, Deku he does actually ask the kid who is sitting on the ground, again, has he ever actually killed a man? Hmm? What the hell? No, 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 no. You can't be him. He's dead, isn't he? That's not possible. Ha, kid. A lot of things are possible. Besides, you didn't answer my question. Have you ever killed a man? No, no. Why? Because the feeling isn't what you're expecting. You might be expecting joy. You might be expecting, well, a rush of adrenaline. That is there. But there's other things you could be feeling. You could be feeling sad. You could be feeling remorseful. You know, that thing I don't think you exactly know too much about right now. That thing you probably do understand right now as you're standing there pissing your pants. The guy, he doesn't even realize it yet. He was so focused on Deku's words. Deku pulled him upwards into the air. And Deku does go to at least give a prime example. Deku going to bring his hand up and go to crush the kid stuck to the wall. As after the kid does feel his legs fold forwards, you do have where he does actually feel his arms bend in unnatural ways. And Deku after at least going to bring his hands up and going to quickly flip his middle finger and his pointer finger across each other, the kid's neck does snap. And the guy, he does, could just stare on his friend in horror. And he does at least go to look directly back at Deku. As Deku, his eyes are cold, calculating, and his body language does show that he's very calm. As whenever the guy with the strength quirk does try to scream out for help, Deku, he does just bring up another finger, and the guy, his chin, directly does go to clack against his upper jaw. And he does actually bite off a part of his tongue. And as he's trying to scream with his mouth closed, Deku does look directly at the kid standing in front of him. And Deku, he does at least go to spin the kid around before he does go to crush the other kid as he does suffer a similar fate. His body folding in on itself in unnatural ways before all that's really left is a small bloody box, or a circle. It's a rough shape. And the kid after Deku at least does go turn him back around, Deku does inform the kid. He really shouldn't fuck with people he doesn't know. Especially because he should know. A lot of bad things could happen. Tonight just wasn't his night. And he's got to get home to his daughters and, well, at least talk to her. He promised to read one of them a bedtime story. And he's going to at least keep his promise. Now, Deku is going to bring up his hand and go to bring it closed, as he does do it a bit slowly. While Deku, he's doing this out of self-defense, he does take a little bit of sadistic pleasure out of it. He does find it enjoyable to go back to the old days. Just a little taste of it. Now, as the kid does fold in on himself, and eventually he is crushed to death, you do actually over Deku, he does go to bring up his hands and go to roll these three things towards the sewer. As over Deku, he does go to force them inside. The bodies, they won't be found for some time. And Deku at least does go to look around and make sure that the blood, it maintained its way in the body. And while Deku, he is annoyed that there is some around this area, you do have where he does go to run over and check on his friend. As whenever Deku, he does at least see that his friend is actually unconscious, he does somewhat sigh in relief. Okay. Shit. I lost my cool back there. Alright, alright. You got this. You got this. Deku going to actually bring up his friend and go to grab him and pull him up. As Deku, he does carry the man back to his house. And whenever Deku he does arrive, Toga she does somewhat go to look at him. She can tell by the way he's carrying this guy, these two are kind of hurt. Especially because Deku's white shirt, it's got dirt, and it does at least have some oil on it from the street. her somewhat asking him what happened. We were attacked. What did you do? He's passed out. It's alright. I took care of it. Okay. Was there? There was a little bit. Enough to be suspicious, but at least enough for a missing person. Enough for a missing persons report. Did anybody see you? No. Besides, even if they did, I would have taken care of them. That would have caused a bigger problem. No, it wouldn't have. It would just be missing persons reports at the moment. Okay, fine. How many? 3. Dinner's on the table. We'll talk later, alright? Alright, Toga. Now, Deku, he does go to lay this guy down on the couch. As after he does go to walk into the kitchen, he does realize exactly how sober he does feel. Him grabbing some water and at least some painkillers before he does go to walk back into the living room and wait for this guy to wake up. After the guy, he does go to wake up after at least an hour or two. You do have where he does ask exactly what happened and why he's got a lot of pain in his ribs. Oh, you don't remember, do you? Remember what? I feel so bad. Sorry. Yeah, I'd rather you not puke on my carpet. You're at my house. Your house? Yeah. It's, well, a long story. You remember those teenagers? Uh, no. What happened? They tried to attack us. We ran. And after we ran, you got caught, but we were able to get away from them. I had to hit one of them, and, well, the other one had a knife. So, hang on, how did we get away? Well, that's a bit harder to explain. We sort of got a cab and got here. Really? Yeah, when we told the cab driver to floor it, he just did. He kind of understood what was going on. I think I might need to go to the hospital. Yeah, maybe. You did take a pretty hefty fall. What do you mean? Well, we went to go leap over a fence and it was a bit larger than we thought. I almost sprained my ankle. And you sort of just right over the fence. Really? Yeah, you kind of landed on a trash can too. Not a dumpster? No, we kind of ran through that area. Oh, shit. Okay, ow. Alright, thanks. Um, I'll try to catch a ride home. Yeah, alright. I can call you a cab if you want. No, I can call my wife. Now, the guy, he does get to call his wife and explain the situation. As whenever she does get to come to pick the guy up, she does apologize for exactly what happened with her husband. And Deku, he is going to explain to her that none of it would have happened if the teenagers, they didn't try to attack them, and they ran away. So, really, they should be okay. The kids probably would have done worse to them. I do apologize. The lady going to get in the car and drive off. As Deku, after that does happen, his kind smile and gentle wave, it is going to shift off of his face. As whenever Deku did go to turn around and walk inside, he immediately went stone face and walked up the stairs. As after heading into his bedroom, Toga is laying in bed. And she just asked him exactly what he did. And if he really does think that that was a good idea. Toga, any more of what happened back there, and I would have been in the hospital. Police would have done some tests on me and run my blood. And they would have realized I was the missing kid. I understand. But what if we have to move? What if we, well, shit. What if your coworker finds out? What if the cops come asking questions? We don't know how to deal with that. Toga, babe, I'll deal with it. Listen, I told them that we kind of fought the teenagers. I told them that we ran, and as far as they're concerned, that's as much as we know. Besides, I already called the cops and informed them. Why? Why did you call the police? I told them that we got into a scuffle with a gang. We fought them and they sort of, well, hurt us here. We ran off and we got away. You can't be serious. What about what you told the guy? You told him you guys got no cab. I did. However, he's also in a lot of pain and drunk. If you ask me about it, I can play it off. Izuku, you can't just be doing this. Besides, what if the cops come asking questions about them? I'll I'll just say something else, okay? Izuku, we tried to leave this life behind. You killed 3 of those people. I know they won't be found for a while. What do you mean? Their bodies have been disposed of. Izuku, what did you do? It was simple. They're in the sewer and at least their bodies are. Okay, what else did you do? They're not going to be recognizable. That much I can tell you, but they're just taken care of, okay? Listen, you trust me, right? I do. So, let me tell you I got it taken care of, Toga. Deku going to lie down, as he does explain to her that he's got it handled, just like he handled it back then. And right now, their family is safe. Deku brings his hand up to Toga's face, telling her as he does to run his finger along her cheek that right now their kids are safe and their family's safe. The bodies won't be found because he also did that one trick he does know. And, well, he does at least hope that those bodies were far enough away. Since while remains definitely will be found, they at least all won't be found in one piece. And Toga, she does understand what Deku's talking about. He does make sure he's thorough. It's kind of what she does find alluring about him. One of the many things that she liked about his gimmick, if you don't want to call it that. Now, with that, we actually do at least cut back a few years ago. As Deku, him and Toga, they're both sitting down. And Deku is still trying to go over it in his head. As he's staring down at this little thing in front of him. Him staring at the lines. This is real. Yeah, it is. I've known for quite some time and I've asked questions and I'm not too sure what to do. Damn it. Listen, I know this sounds weird, but I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry. We got careless. Damn it. So, what do we do? I don't know. But we'll stay together. Really? Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Jesus. I don't know what to say. Honestly, it's amazing, Toga. I'll I'll have a family. My own family to call again. Are you okay? Yeah, it's I'm still trying to process it, but have you ever thought of this sounds so stupid. Leaving the league? What? No. Why would I? Oh, yeah. Um, I'm not too sure if they'll let us. We could run, but they'd find us. We could try to hide. They could find us. I I have an idea, Toga. Izuku, what are you talking about? Let's turn over as much of the league as we can. What? You can't be serious. Why? Toga, we dump the information and we run. I've thought about leaving the league for a while now. And granted, I've just thought about it. Right now, we need to. You can't have kids in the league. And why not? Because All For One is already after my power. All For One already knows a lot about my powers. And what about these kids? Now, Toga, she just stared back at Deku. She's never seen him this scared before. Um, what do you mean? Toga, All For One takes powers. All For One, he does a lot. If he knows these powers exist, whatever they have, their quirks could be something he likes. Even if I'm his enforcer, he wouldn't let them have their quirks. And think about it. I've tried thinking about this more recently. Granted, it's just a feeling, but as soon as we're done with this, he might just kill us. What? What do you mean? All For One. It's the way he's been acting lately. I don't trust him. We need to run. Dump the information. Blow the horn. Tell anybody. Tell people. Tell the heroes. Izuku, do you know what that would mean, right? I do. It would mean we have to hide forever. Run forever. But they don't know who I am. I know, but they know me. We'll get a new identity. Listen, I know some people who they might owe me a favor. We can talk to them and discuss things. They know me as the enforcer. If I can just force them to do what I need. Get them to do their job. Get you an identity. We can run. We can raise this family together. Toga, I love you. Now, Toga, she has watched the expression on Deku's face, as he went from a serious tone to a bit more of an embarrassed one. His cheeks were turning red, and he was stuttering. And then he said those words. She's never heard him say that. You're serious about this? Yes, I am. I'm very serious, Toga. Okay. Let me think about it. Now, we do cut back to the real world, where somebody they at least do go to put a cold drink directly on top of Deku's forehead. As after Deku, he's sitting there thinking for a minute, you do actually have where he does get to react to it. As the person at least could thank Deku for his help. What? What do you mean? Deku reaching up and grabbing the drink. As he's going to crack it open and talk about how all he did was help a friend. No, dude, not that. Him going to look around. As he does go to bring his hand up and go to move his finger. And the moment Deku he does look at that, he does go from drinking the drink to just staring at him. As he does go to drop the soda in his hand. And his friend is going to bring his hand up talking about how he won't tell. And Deku, yeah. He realizes that that guy knows his secret identity. However, we do actually cut to the police force. They are currently investigating the missing persons reports. They've already talked to the man who was involved, and they got his name down on record. As the police investigator, or the detective, he's currently standing in front of the cell of All For One, and he's pointing out exactly what happened to these people, expressing to All For One that they have been found in such a condition, and he believes that this might mean that his enforcer is still alive. And All For One, he does somewhat just go to grin, as he does go to look around before he does go to say something to the detective, and informing them that oh, this needs to happen and this needs to happen. Contact this person and find the enforcer that betrayed him so long ago. As the detective is going to turn around and they do go to walk out of Tartarus prison. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.